In the meantime, Osun State Commissioner for Environment, Mayowa Adejorin, has been released after spending almost 24 hours in police detention over a shooting incident in Ilesha. Adejorin was arrested after 3 people were injured during an APC street rally in the Shokun area of the town. One of those injured was a 14-year-old boy. The incident has triggered accusations between the APC and the court party, with police alleging that suspected Amotekun personnel were involved in the shooting. The police said officers responding to the incident stopped Adejorin's vehicle while he was passing through the area and took him to the command headquarters in Osogbo for questioning. He was later released as investigations continue into the incident. And now News Central's lead correspondent, Benard Akede, who is in Osun State, joins us now for updates as preparations intensify for the governorship poll. Benard, good evening to you and happy Sunday. What is the political atmosphere looking like in Osun State as the governorship election draws closer?
All right, thank you so much, Leko. Excuse me. The atmosphere is calm. Today is a Sunday. Most people have gone to church and are resting ahead of the penultimate week, if you want to put it that way. Remember that we have less than 6 days now, or just about 6 days to the elections, and the whole of Osun State is actually active preparing for the election. I think one significant thing I can mention now that is different from what we've been witnessing in the past is an improved or a beefed, an improved or the beefing up of security operations on the ground. We just passed by the INEC office, which eventually will become a beehive of activities in the next few hours. And we see that some soldiers have now been deployed to that particular place. Earlier today, we're in Ede, which is the stronghold and the hometown of the current governor, Bola Tinubu, and we could see the presence of soldiers. We were not allowed to record or to film around there, but information we got from one of the colonels who was there, who I believe is in charge, was that starting from tomorrow, even movement and access to INEC office will be strongly restricted, such that even staff of INEC who are below level 9 will not be granted access to that particular office. And he even went on to say that even the governor himself will not be granted access to INEC office. And of course, that is because of how sensitive that environment is going to be. And that is how heightened our preparations towards the elections have become at the moment. From next week, or rather from this week, it's a new week already, from Monday we'll be seeing the final laps of political rallies and campaigns of the various political parties. From Monday, Tuesday, and I believe Wednesday, most of the parties will be having their final laps of their campaign leading to the election, which will take place on Saturday, the 15th of August.
Let's talk about the campaigns and the mobilization across these political parties in this state. How has it been? How would you describe it? And how are the people, being receptive? How receptive are they to these campaigns coming from these political parties?
All right, Leko, you will see different convoys of vehicles. Just speaking now, there's another convoy coming past. We don't know who is who, but of course, these are the scenes that you'll be seeing across the state around this period, because a lot is happening. And then coincidentally, anyway, we are next to the government secretariat, so it's no surprise that we're seeing this kind of movements. But coming to your question concerning the campaigns, I would say it's been pretty much like a 2-horse race. The largest campaigns we've been seeing are those of the All Progressive Congress, which has been considered the strongest opposition, and then that of Accord, which of course is the ruling party in the state. They have been the ones, going around, and largely people believe that it's because they are the two parties that have that are strongest. Of course, Accord being the ruling party in the state, and the All Progressives Congress being the ruling party in the country. And these two parties are the strongest rivals in this particular election. So they are the ones that we actually have been seeing a lot of activities, ongoing among them. But in the coming days, we're expecting to see some rallies still between Accord, APC, and then possibly the ADC. In fact, rumors have it that we might be seeing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar touch ground here in Osun State in the next few days. If that will eventually happen, be sure that News Central will do well to cover that particular activity. But that has been the mood when it comes to rallies and campaigns. And then for the people are only hoping and wishing that there will be a safe and credible election, basically, because of course, like you read earlier, some pockets of violence that we've seen in certain parts of the state. And so people basically are asking that, that there be no violence in the election. And then finally, still on that, well, the police, we spoke to the public relations officer, has said that the police has equally beefed up its security infrastructure such that all the polling units will be well protected and well guarded, and that they are saying that they cannot do it alone. So they are calling on the citizens to feed them with information where necessary and to please maintain law and order before, during, and of course after the election.
Of course, we know that situations are quite tense in Osun State, but we are very hopeful that this election will go down well without any form of intimidation, violence, and voter apathy. Benard Akede, thank you so much for sharing these updates with us. We appreciate that.